except for making the pie plate out of it. So what we're going to do in this point is we left the top fat because this is going to be a faceted pie plate. The walls are nice and thin going up and down perpendicular. And I'm going to take my trimming tool at this point because we want to leave the bottom of this plate flat. And what we're going to do is trim out the excess just by going down the piece to the wheel head. Move away the extra clay like we do right here. So we have it straight up and down. These are straight up and down now. You see that? Okay, now we're going to put the undercut on this pot just like it's going to be a finished plate or something. We're going to cut it in and leave a nice lift here. Easy does it. Here's the clay we took off the piece. Save that for the scrap pile. Okay, now we have a nice undercut. We're going to take the sponge and run it up underneath this undercut to make it nice and clean. I'm going to put a thumb impression over here. That's a gesture like we talked about before. And I'm going to cut in 2 lines, one on top of the gesture and one in the middle of the gesture. And what that's going to do is give me a glaze catcher, a place to stop my wax. And now we've got a nice rolled rim here. We'll take the leather tool real quick here and we're going to strap down the rim and make it round. Nice and even. Easy does it. Here we go. Okay, now what we're doing is now we're going to wet the piece and make it into the pie plate. And I'm wetting the inside, and with a single finger I'm going to start to pull this down and make it into what we call a pie plate. Now, when you're making pie plates, here's the deal. The pie plate itself is going to come up. It's going to lift. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to give it a nice curve and get the pie plate down as flat as possible. By the way, if you're watching me right now, this would be a heck of a charger or a real nice dinner plate. And if you wanted to stop at this point, no one's stopping you. You could make a nice dinner plate. But remember, the outside edges dry first and the pot's going to start to curl up. So we want to make sure we get this pretty flat. All right, we got it flat. I'm going to put one gesture detail line right here for some reason with my pinky finger. Just one little gesture right there. Okay, and now what we're going to do to make it into the pie plate is we're going to crimp it. And the way I crimp it is just get my hands nice and clean. No more dirt on your hands right here. And we're going to sort of make it like Grandma's pie plate. And what I do is I take 2 fingers and I'm just going to crimp it like that. Can you see my fingers? Yes. Okay, so what I'm going to do is hold my finger on the rim of the plate and lift up my bottom finger and curl it up onto my finger right there. That's the first crimp. Okay, now every inch or so we're going to make another crimp. Not that hard to do. And I guess I've been working with real soft clay for a long time and I'm sort of used to it. It's like making handles. Some of my friends say, how do you deal with that clay when it's like putty and you're handling it and touching it and everything and you don't leave any fingerprints in it? And I say, I don't know, I guess it's I just have the Midas touch or the lightest touch. One of the two. Trying to get some levity into this boring routine of going all the way around the pie plate here. Now when you get towards the end here, you got to start thinking about how many more crimps you're going to do. About 2 will do it here. 1 and 2. Okay, now we're going to take our chamois cloth right here and we're going to lightly, 2 fingers on the top, and we're going to run it around the rim of this pot. And we're going to sort of make the pot as uniform as possible without touching it. Alrighty, so that's basically a pie plate. Now, when I'm going to finish this pie plate, what I'll do is I'm going to pop this up real quick. You can see the detail lines here. I'll take my camera down real quick, see if I can show this to you. Let me turn this around so I can see what I'm doing here. Alright, here it is. Pie plate, crimped all the way around with a slight line detail before I did the crimping. And then over here, on this side, we have the gesture lines and the undercutting. Can you see how undercut that is? And how the pie plate's laid over. And of course this pie plate will lift up quite a bit. But that's Pitta the Potter making a pie plate. And on this size vessel, what I usually do is I undercut the vessel with a wire tool. I don't make a fancy cut, just a straight across cut, because when I finish this pie plate, I'm going to show you exactly what I do to make it look like it has a foot. At any rate, this is Pitta the Potter in Maggie Valley. I'll be back when I'm trimming this plate. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.